G'day and welcome back to Heresy in 40k, and I'm here to talk about the Saturnine kit because I got my copy at time of recording about a week ago. It is here in my possession. Oh boy, I shall never financially recover. It's probably going to take me 20 million years to get everything in this box set done. But luckily, I'm putting the rest of my pile of shame on hold to try and get everything in this kit done. I'm not going to be able to do it in a fast manner, but I want to make sure I want to get at least all of this done. I'm mainly going to talk about the contents of the box, because I know with 3rd edition, a lot of the rules, a lot of the changes, a lot of people are not happy about what has happened to Horus Heresy, the game. But I'm not particularly that well versed when it comes to the rules. I've yet to probably go through in my own time, read the rule book. I've also got the Liber. I've Liber Hereticus because I'm running a Night Lord's army. I also got the SFN 5 journal. And I've only really read through the Liber to make sure how many points my army is now, especially since I've had to add an extra 50 more miniatures to it and see what it is now. It's about I think, maybe give or take about over 4,000 points for my army. So yeah, a lot. And I still need to add like vehicles and all that. Like I don't want to add tanks and transports and all that as well. So yeah, mainly going to talk about the contents of the box. So what comes in the Saturnine kit? Well, you have obviously the rulebook. You have the plastic tactical status and objective tokens, the 2 rules reference sheets, 26-sided dice and 1 scatter dice, templates, 1 range ruler and 1 transfer sheet, as well as introductory rules and construction guide, which are one thing. They're together. And then the 50 miniatures are the Saturnine Praetor, the Centurion, the Saturnine Dreadnought, the Arachnite Quad Accelerator Platform. Try saying that 50 times while you're drunk. And you have the 6 Saturnine Terminators, the 14 Legionaries in Mark II power armor, 20 of which can be made as the TAC squad. The other 20 can be made as the veteran squads with the disintegrator weapons. And then you get two sets of disintegrator weapons, obviously, to make the veteran squads. So I was very interested in this release, just from the models themselves, what they look like. Really digging the aesthetic of Saturnine. Not particularly big on it on the Praetor, but I do like it more on the Terminators and especially on the Dreadnought. I think the Dreadnought is probably the best model so far in this kit and of this edition. I do like the Centurion as well, and I do like the Mark II Tactical Marines. I think there was, unless I'm wrong, please correct me, there was a Forge World resin kit of Mark II, so this is them in plastic now. So I think that's great. Obviously, considering it's Forge World, 9 times out of 10, it's just not going to be available. It just doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, and then the Arachnite Quad Accelerator Platform. It's whatever. I'm not a big fan of like turrets, like getting turrets. There's nothing appealing to me of like turrets or like turret equivalents in like Warhammer, so that's probably going to be on the bottom of my list of like what to get through sub-assembling and painting everything. So far, I've sub-assembled the Centurion, Praetor, and Dreadnought. I have finished the Praetor. I finished the Praetor on the day that I got this, which was damn. I'm surprised I was able to get that done quickly. Here's a little hint of how you could achieve that. It's called not caring about sleep. Not healthy, but you can get some painting done if you do that. I have the Dreadnought technically done. I just need to work on the base. I'm waiting for some bits to arrive that I'm going to add to the base. I just got to get that primed, painted, and then I can just glue on the Dreadnought. But the Dreadnought itself is pretty much done. I'll show off my Praetor and my Dreadnought that I've done so far. They're Night Lords, hooray! So a lot of skulls and blood on them. You can guarantee it with Night Lords. Maybe a little bit of flesh. I haven't got any green stuff. I haven't tried green stuff yet. So maybe in the future I'll explore messing around with making stuff with green stuff or green stuff equivalents. But the kit itself, I am happy with what I've got. I've so far from what I've put together, what I've looked at, I haven't found really any like defects, anything wrong with it, anything that's missing from this that so they're definitely not a box that just was an accidental defect that was shipped out with everything else. So yeah, customization wise with a lot of these minis, I think the Praetor and the Dreadnought and the Termes really like the customization with there. Same with the what we can get with the tax squad, especially with the veterans, where you can have the Sergeant dual wield disintegrator weapons. I think that's fucking cool. Just anyway, I started blasting.
Editor Chris here. So turns out the dual wielding disintegrator pistol is not an acceptable weapon loadout for your sergeant, for the veteran. So that's a bit disappointing, you know.
How the fuck would you show me something if I couldn't have it then?
The Centurion is the only one I feel like is very lacking, aside from the platform, because there's nothing to really customize with the platform. It's just a very simple model. You get what you get in that. There's nothing extra. But the Centurion, I wish there was a bit more customization with the Centurion. It really is just helmet. You can have him have a helmet, or you can have him just helmetless, but he's wearing a rebreather. Like, that's really it. Maybe you can not have him wear the cape and just put different shoulder pads from a different kit onto them. Maybe you don't have to have the Vexilla, the banner on his back. You can just cut that and cut the piece that it connects to and not have him wear that. But like, I kind of wish there was a bit more with the Centurion. But no, overall, I think everything look-wise is great. Quality-wise, it's great so far. And also, last, I think, really positive I will give this kit, comes down to the instructions, particularly with a certain minis that you're going to put together, and that is the Veteran Squad, the Mark II Veteran Squad with disintegrators, because it will outright tell you, because you have 4 weapon options. You have the disintegrator rifle, the combi disintegrator, the heavy disintegrator, and disintegrator blaster. Mainly, you'll have them having the disintegrator rifle and the combi disintegrators, but it says here, in each unit of 10 veterans, 2 models may be given either a disintegrator blaster or a heavy disintegrator, and I like that. I don't see that a lot with instructions in Warhammer, where it will outright tell you if you have this certain amount of models, you can give them these special weapons to use, and it will give you the actual amount you use. I feel like they should be doing this a bit more, instead of getting you to rely on reading the codex or using the app or reading like the libers, which the equivalent of the codex is like. Because yeah, from what I know, Horus Heresy doesn't really have an app that is similar to the 40k or the AOS app where you can list build. I'm sure like the community has made various pages or whatever to help people list build stuff with like up-to-date like points and what you can put into your certain squads, whatever, how many points, or it changes if you give them certain weapons or certain items, or you know, if you want an additional amount of minis in this unit, how many points is that? Like, all of that. There probably is somewhere there that the community, someone or a group in the community have put that together. But I kind of wish there was more from GW's side of doing this, instead of like, not as bad as like a Bethesda, where Bethesda would just release a game that is just like not finished, and just hoping that the community will go ahead and just fix it for them, essentially for free. But, you know, when you're reading like something like, you know, like, for example, like the 40k Terminator kit, like the regular Terminator kit, it will give you the whole like, you can make the Terminator, but here's also variants, and it's like, here's the red one, here's the yellow one, and here's the green one, and it will just be a difference of weapons. But it won't actually, like, really outright tell you, you can only have one of them. Because I didn't know that when I was making the 40k Terminator kit, that because I accidentally gave my Blood Angel Terminators, one has the autocannon and one has the missile rack. Was it cyclonic missiles? And you can only actually run one or the other in a unit of 5. You can't have both of them. So luckily I have some spare Terminators from like a project I plan to do sometime in the future, so I can easily just swap one of them out for just a regular Termi. But I didn't know that until I like went onto the 40k app. It was either, I think I read the codex or one of the codexes, maybe the Space Marine one or whatever, or I just looked when I was list building for my Blood Angels, and then it turned out, oh, it's not a viable configuration that I have both of them with these. Oh, I kind of wish I really knew that, and it was a bit more like transparent, like the instructions are actually a bit more transparent other than just like variant, different color. Like, be like, you know, we're not dumb. You don't have, like, GW, you don't have to treat us like we're dumb, but be a bit more transparent. Like, this actually helps. If they should really do more of this, of just like outright telling you that you can do this for your units. Like, you know, in each unit of 10, 2 of them can have these types of weapons. Like, do more of that, because especially of like, you're going to have people of varying ages go into these games. So, like, you know, what if, like, I don't know, like a 14-year-old gets into this? They're happy, they've built it, they've built everything, they've decided, oh, I'm going to put, like, 5 of them can have, well, not 5, because I think it's very limited with how many of the disintegrated weapon sprues there are. I don't know, I haven't checked in a while, but let's just say, I've built 5 of them with heavy disintegrators, and then he decides, oh, I'm going to go to a little competition with my army, and then it turns out they go up there and someone tells them, oh, well, that's not viable because you can only have 2 in a unit of 10, and you've given them 5, so you're going to have to, if they're real sticklers, they'll say, you can't run this, sorry, go away. But, you know, feel like, and maybe you can proxy them, maybe. So yeah, do more like this, GW, okay? No, I think people would like you a little bit more if you did more like this. This does help, okay? I'm not the smartest, you know, tool in the shed. Yeah, so, you know, good. And that'll be the last good, okay? Because going into the bad of this kit, and again, it has to do with instructions and how the models are kind of sculpted. So, starting off with the Centurion, when you are building the Centurion, when you get to the 4th part of it, it will tell you to attach the backpack, to glue it on. Then it will tell you to glue the 2 parts of the cape, because the sculpt is separate, you've got to put it together. You got to glue the 2 parts of the cape together, and then you put, and then afterwards you put the first parts of the cape that go into the shoulder pauldrons, then you attach the cape itself. The problem is, with how it's sculpted, and how they've made the instructions, it kind of just tells you it should fit just straight on. It doesn't. It really doesn't with how the sculpt is built, because if you try to put it straight on, it doesn't work. You have to do like go kind of like underneath, because there are like parts in the cape, like on the instruction you kind of see with like the yellow, there are parts in the cape where that fit over the power pack, the backpack. But you can't, like I said, you can't just put it straight on. You actually have to kind of like the top halves of the cape, you have to kind of like fit under, then you kind of like slot it in. And I feel like doing it like that, you're probably gonna break it. Like when I was sub-assembling it to see like, okay, how is this gonna fit once I actually have to put it together, once it's all painted, there were quite a few times where I was like, oh, I feel like I'm actually gonna break this, like putting it like this. So I think the better way that I should have done it, and I'd say for anyone that's getting the Centurion should do it, is maybe don't assemble the cape straight away. like this, probably do it, glue it on separately. So probably put the power pack on and then fit the cape, first half of the cape on, then put the second half onto it. But because I've already assembled the cape and have it primed, I'm probably going to have to, like, here's my Centurion. This little part here where the power pack goes, I might have to just cut that off so I can fit everything properly. So that part, sculpting wise, it could have been designed better. And then there's another part with the Praetor, how you put on the plasma blaster. How I've put it on, it feels like, in most parts, like I've built it like this, where it's on the right arm. And because I was sub-assembling it, I think it works. It really only works if you've kind of like glued it on properly. But visually, if you're looking at the instructions, it's like, okay, how the fuck is like this arm supposed to be positioned? And I'm trying to figure out also where to put the plasma blaster, and how I'm putting it. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm also going to snap this as well. I'm going to snap the little like cord that the plasma blaster like attaches from the blaster to the back of the Praetor. It's like, oh, I think I'm actually going to snap this with how I'm like trying to position this on the arm. And it's like, I feel like I'm doing it properly, but I don't know, something's going wrong here. So with that one, I know it's a bit iffy. I don't know if I would have had the same problem if I just put it on the right arm instead, but it's another issue I kind of had going into with the instructions. But so far, for everything else that I've assembled, I've had no other problems. I think that's really the only kind of like bad that I've had with the Saturnine kit. Now, to the straight up lies of this kit. So, as I said earlier, my favorite one from this kit is the Dreadnought. I think it looks amazing. I think it looks great. And if you remember, leading up to the release of Saturnine, GW was doing all these kit focuses for like certain parts of for some of these new models. One of them was the Dreadnought. So on Australia time, on the 18th of June of 2025, they released the Saturnine Dreadnought kit focus, the biggest beast in the new box set, to show off the new Saturnine Dreadnought. Since it is bigger than the other Dreadnoughts for Heresy. So showing off the different parts that are going to be coming in this kit, all the different like customizations for the kit. The version that is coming in the kit, which came in this kit, is the Chiron, but there would also be another version of it coming out called the Ophion. The main difference being the two main arm weapons and then the chest weapons are a bit different. So, but what piqued my interest reading in that part, which is Weapons of the Future, is when I get to the last two paragraphs. So, it says, the best part is you won't miss out on these new weapons for the Ophion just because you got your Dreadnought in the awesome Saturnine box set, as they'll be available separately, much like the weapon sets for the Contemptor, Leviathan, and Derridio Dreadnoughts, which is true. Even though they're online only, yes, you can buy the separate weapons for all of those Dreadnoughts if you want to like customize it. If you've magnetized your weapons, you just easily swap them out. But this is the kicker, and this is what really piqued my interest about the Saturnine Dreadnought and its weapons. Due to the way the arms and weapon mounts are made, you can even carefully snap the guns in and out as you please rather than gluing them, or put magnets into pre-made slots for an even more secure fit. Now, I think that's game-changing. That for the Dreadnought, that how it is built, you do not have to glue them, or you don't necessarily have to use magnets if you want to swap them out. As it says, if you want it to be a more secure fit, you can use magnets. But the fact that you can just instead just snap them in and out as if it's like a push to fit mini. I think that's great, and I was so excited for that because like, okay, that's great because I like the look of the Ophion configuration weapons, and yes, at time of recording, they're available to pre-order that weapon set. Considering the two they're releasing both dreadnoughts, the Chiron and the Ophion, but the Chiron, which was in the box set, is online only, which I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's the one in the launch set, but that's the one you don't want available everywhere, just restricted to Warhammer, to the Warhammer site, while the new one is going to be available everywhere. Like, okay, whatever, I guess. And then obviously, as with the other dreadnought weapon sets, the Chiron and the Ophion weapon sets are available online only, which was, you know, to be expected. I wasn't gonna be like disappointed. Oh god, they're only available on the Warhammer site. Gosh darn! Like I knew that was gonna be a thing because they did it with the other ones already. So I was leading up to that, you know, just before I think I got this kit, and they announced the previews for what was coming out for pre-order, and it's like, okay, they're gonna have the Ophion configuration like weapon set. I can get that, and so I can easily just clip in and out the weapons between my dreadnought, because maybe I want to experiment with different weapon slots and see how it goes, like when I'm playing with like friends or whatever. But lo and behold, you'd imagine my disappointment when it came to actually building the dreadnought. So I'm building the dreadnought, I'm sub-assembling it, because I'm going to sub-assemble it anyway to paint it, you know, much easier for myself. And I get to the parts where the weapons connect, both the ones for the chest piece and for the arms, because it mentions that it says the arms and weapon mounts, so it's both of them. Yeah, due to the way the arms and weapon mounts are made. So I assume it's both, yeah, the chest ones and the actual arm weapons, or could just be the arm weapons that they're referring to. Imagine my disappointment that I go to put them together, they do not snap in and out. They don't. Neither of them do. The arms or the mounted chest weapons. They do not snap in and out. And I'm like, okay, hang on, like, okay, what about the actual joint? The joint of the arm, like where the arms and the weapon meet. No, they don't snap either. They do not snap in and out. In the actual instructions for this, you know, because it will actually tell you in the instructions to glue them. Like, I'm not kidding. Here we go. Let me find the actual part where it tells you to, here, right here. So, as usual with the instructions, it'll give you an outline of what is the part you actually need to apply the glue to. You don't put it all over the goddamn model, obviously, but the actual part that you put the glue on. So, here we go. On the actual weapon, it will signify as yellow to glue. So see there, it wants you to glue every option for both weapons, and then also for the chest mounted ones. It wants you to glue them. There's nothing in this that says it can snap in and out. It does not tell you to not glue them, because there are other kits from Warhammer that do that. Actually, I'm going to go get one now. I'll be right back. So here we go. Perfect example of a kit that will tell you not to glue certain parts. Your Imperial Knights and your Chaos Knights. So here we go. I have the instructions for the Chaos Knight Ruinator, the most recent Chaos Knight. And there we go. One of the first few pages I flipped to. Best example of telling you not to glue certain parts is when it comes to the arms, to the weapons. Here we go. Look, right there in orange, and also a no glue symbol. Don't glue that in, because it needs to move. Even on the thing there, like, there's yellow there. You glue those parts in, but that orange one right there, no. Don't put fucking glue on that thing, or else it can't move. It has no movement with its arms anymore. Like, because you need it to. Like, even when you are, like, attaching it to the socket, to the body, it will tell you not to put glue on these little parts here. Because you could just, like, you could snap it in, turn it, it's secure. And then you can also get it to move it up and down if you want it to. So, yeah, here with the Chaos Knight kit, it will tell you outright not to put glue on certain parts because it will actually restrict the intended movement of those parts. While here with the Praetor, or not the Praetor, the Dreadnought, you know, where you have an article saying, don't worry, you can snap the guns in and out as you please. So, you know, we can get you to buy the Ophion weapons set, or if you've already bought the Ophion configuration, you can buy the Chiron weapons set, and you can easily swap them out whenever you want to. Where? It's not there. It's telling you to glue the fuckers. It's a lie. What happened? GW, you've lied to us in that. Did no one proofread that? Was there some kind of miscommunication between whoever sculpted the minis to whoever wrote this article? Because I know the person who wrote this article probably most likely isn't the one who made this. Like, they're not the one who actually made the Dreadnought. But how could they just outright just lie? Did none of them actually test it to see, oh, actually, look, how we built it, it actually can snap in and out. It's not like I got a defective model. I don't think I've gotten a defective model. You know, as much as I'm now still giving them money, I've bought the Ophion Dreadnought, and I'm going to see if that one is also the same. And I can probably guarantee it is the same. The instructions are probably going to tell me to glue those fuckers in. GW, what the hell? What is going on here? You have your problems, but an outright lie. I'm so disappointed. I was loving, like, everything with this kit, even with the problems I had that I mentioned earlier, with, like, the sculpts, with, like, the Centurion and, like, parts of the Praetor. Like, even with that, I was enjoying fucking everything that I got in the Saturnine kit. And I was so excited to assemble, to put together the Dreadnought with that little, like, piece of information in mind that, like, I can easily swap out the weapons. No, I was gonna buy like I said, I was gonna buy the Ophion weapon set so that I can go ahead, I can get that painted, and then I can go and just swap them out. Just easily swap them out and just have a time, have some fun with some different weapon configurations. But I now just have to because I've never really magnetized things before, so I have 2 Saturnine Dreadnoughts now. I still got one waiting to come out, to release. Great model, fantastic model, but with one big lie attached to it. One just a very little but pretty big lie attached to it. You can't snap the weapons out. Reading that was like a game changer, because I'm like, why the fuck have you not done that before? And if you have, why haven't you done it, like, why isn't this just like a constant thing with, like, stuff like Dreadnoughts? And, like, should also apply it to Knights. Because, Knights are a big one where if you want to swap the weapons out, you're going to have to magnetize. And you have to cut into bits and pieces to get the magnets to work.
Editor Chris again. So I've looked at a few other reviews. It turns out on the different parts of the arms and the weapons, there are recesses where you can fit in certain size magnets. So I guess that's a plus, compared to, like, Knights where, you have to sometimes cut into parts to put the magnets in, but for that one, the magnets just fit into the slot. So I guess that's good, but my point still stands. The snap in and out option does not exist.
Come on. What the hell? I don't think I've seen anyone talk about this. From channels that I follow and like stuff that comes up in my recommendations, I don't really think I've seen anyone talk about this. GW. Be better. Just tell us the truth, okay? But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Saturnine kit. Aside from that big little negative, I really still, no, I like everything I got here. And like I said, I have the Praetor and the Dreadnought painted. Like, here we go. I'll show you, I'll show them off anyway, because I'm pretty proud of what I've done, even with little bit angry with the stuff with the Dreadnought. I'm still a bit proud of what I've done. So here we go. My Saturnine Praetor that I painted up. Added some little like helmets here. You got your salamanders, you got your iron hands, you got your Raven Guard. He's got the Sinner's red gauntlets. Is he a traitor or a fool or both? Who knows? Only I know, and I'm not telling you anything. And then, of course, I have the Dreadnought. Here we go. My Saturnine Dreadnought. I ordered some decals, so I got the decals attached on various different places, like legs and chest and arms and everything. Added some skulls to where the Iron Halo sits, because I thought it'd be fitting because Night Lords, and then had some spare pieces from the Emperor's Children kit that had chains with some severed hands on it, and I changed one to be a severed hand with a Dark Angel's helmet on the bottom instead. So pretty proud with how this turned out. Now I just wish I could now swap the actual weapons. I can't. I've glued them in because you can't snap them in and out. So, yep, that's my thoughts on the Saturnine kit. Thank you everyone for watching. For anyone else that's bought the Saturnine kit, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Yeah, I'll keep an update because, like I said, I did order the Ophion Dreadnought. Yeah, I know I'm giving GW money. I'm not helping myself or helping them really, but I'm helping them financially. But yeah, I'll try and keep an update to see. I don't know, is this just a one-off? Maybe the actual like separate release will have the snap in and out. Just for some reason the box set one doesn't. Like I said, I don't think that's the case. I think it is you either have to magnetize them or glue them as is. So, yep, that's it for my thoughts on it. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope to see you all in the next one. Catch ya.